We recognize first and foremost that there have been some issues in terms of our relationship with the corporate Jamaica, with the fan base and everything. Um, the president deliberately set out on a mission to address that issue.
JFF moving too slow. Act now or lose Jamaica's best talent. Who want go further now, man? And we restrict we. Give me the key so me can Lego the bird. Opportunities are like sunrises. If you wait too long, you miss them. This is a remarkable quote written by William Arthur Ward, as it links directly to as to how slow the Jamaica Football Federation has been and still is surrounding the recruitment process of quality players that the Jamaica men's national team needs. Greetings and welcome to another episode on Premier 7 with your host, Ryan Nelson. I hope that this day is a day of blessings for you. We live to see a new month, so let's all give thanks. Now, today's episode speaks directly to the topic JFF moving too slow. Act now or lose Jamaica's best talent. Is it factual or is it a lie? Well, I have some details here to show that will hit the nail right on the head. Now, from this topic, I will be speaking about the delayed approach to players, lack of proper scouting and recruitment structure, impact on Jamaica's World Cup dreams, and then I will conclude with something that links directly to fans deserves better. But before I dive into that, I just want to reflect on a poll that I did surrounding the question: is the Jamaica Football Federation JFF too slow in recruiting overseas based quality players for the men's national team? From that, 118 votes to have like 15 comments. As you can see here, 85% says yes, 10% stated not really, and the remaining 5% says no. From that, I have a lot of comments to go through. Well, I will just pick out one, and it is from Devon McNeil 4537. JFF a move like snail. Them a drag them feet. How man a wait 2 years just to get passport. Kiss me teeth. Am I the only one who is having an issue with how JFF is moving? And there's many more persons who will be saying something similar. So big up to all the persons in the comment section. I really appreciate such. And of course, if you are new to Premier 7, please go ahead and subscribe. I have 1,766 subscribers. I would love to have at least 1,800 before the end of this month. Put it at that then. And of course, if you are already a subscriber, then you know what to do. So let's jump into the first part of the video. Delayed approach to players. Delayed approach to players. The Jamaica Football Federation has tried to get players before, and they have. And I'm not here to be disrespectful. I am not here to be aggressive because guess what? I don't work in the JFF. But I'm letting the points be known here that better can be done because we deserve better. We are not a big nation in football. So, in order for us to progress to another level or to our next stage, we have to do things better and add some urgency to that. So, by way of history, the JFF has been late in recruiting players, right? And it has been a case whereas players are even interested to play, but JFF approach is too late. Too late, and it affects how the country should go. That's a backlog. Sometimes when they should go for players, it is too slow, whereas the players may not even have the interest to play, switch their allegiance, or other things. So it is understood that many players that we are talking about here is that they're of Jamaican roots, and JFF just do not make the approach on time to get them. It's like you're going to school, or you should go to school, and you wake up late on several occasions. And when you should get the bus is gone, and you have to pay extra fare to get to school. That is not something that we want to see happening. And if we should even talk about other countries getting players over the line based on efficiency and effective strategic approaches, then we can talk about countries like Nigeria. Look at Lookman, who compliments and applaud Nigeria for getting him there to play because England wasn't giving him any other opportunity, so he go to a country that his roots is linked with, right? So in that case, also countries like Morocco and Algeria, they have aggressive recruitment approach to top talents very early, and they get them. But Jamaica is dragging their feet. It's like them a drag them back like Marlon, man. So in that case, we can all reflect on an Ivan Toney, right? A Premier League goal machine with Jamaican heritage. He was open to play for Jamaica, but the JFF was slow in approach, and then England jumped in because Ivan Toney, even though he was a good player, he wasn't hitting the level like that before England swooped in. Jamaica took too long, and when he starts to hit the ground running, then England just say, all right, Ivan Toney, here's a chance. So I mean, it's not something that we always want to see happening. We need to have these players, to represent us. And now we can understand that for the Three Lions, Ivan Toney will possibly be playing for them for a very long time because he's in his 20s. Also, even though we get a player like an Ethan Pinnock, one of the best defenders in Brentford's history, of course, in the Premier League, for years, he was not rushed at. And I don't want to say rushed in. For years, he has not been approached by the JFF. And when they finally act, it looked like something of luck because what if he had chosen another country? Assessing the age of an Ethan Pinnock right now, he's in his 30s. So, what if he was playing at a time or emerged past players like Harry Maguire, John Stones as a defender, Konsa? Then England would get him in. And also, we have to look on these things carefully. And as I've said earlier out, I'm not here to disrespect the JFF, but I'm just here to speak on matters that bothers me as a fan and also others. It's like having a voice for the people. So other countries, they have been keeping track of their diaspora talent very early, and they find ways to convince them to commit. The USA has convinced Yunus Musa, who could have played for England and Ghana, and they managed to get him in because remember the key word earlier out, they look at players from their diaspora earlier out. I won't always say then they're looking at players from their teens, but early 20s. They make the approach from they see the talent, get them in, help them to grow along the way, and then they represent that country. As you can see, the United States is one of the best country, if not the best, then in the CONCACAF region. Now, lack of proper scouting and recruitment structure, right? Lack of proper scouting and recruitment structure. So it is not all for Steve McLaren to be target because he's a coach, yes, he's the one who's selecting the players and should be looking on the players, but he cannot be everywhere. Am I giving him an escape route? No, I'm not. But it's more than just to say the coach. The recruitment process needs to be better. The structure has to be better. Because in that case, we will not have anything to say then that we're progressing. And the JFF doesn't have a proper scouting and recruitment system for overseas based talent. We're approaching the Unity Cup. We're approaching other competitions as well that we need to get our players training together. And a lot of our players who we want to see play for the country or has been playing for the country are overseas based. Our coach lives in England. I don't think we have any system overseas where they can even camp together. Because yes, for example, Damian Lowe is playing in the Saudis, and some of our players are playing over here, that is in the western side of the world, in America, MLS. Then sometimes I think if Jamaica have some form of system overseas, in a way, I'm just saying, then the minimal amount of players from this side can travel to that side in a camp, rest for at least a day, and then train along with those, because most of our players are overseas, who I think we need and has been better than the locals. They're in England, thereabout, or other countries to that side. So getting players from this side to go over that side, it will be easier then, based on even cost and based on even time for these players to train in a camp, and then they could travel back here if we have games. It's not a thing that I'm saying that we should always look in that direction, but it's like having a balance, having a balance to get players more settled to represent. So there are a lot of quality players with Jamaican heritage, but they're being overlooked. Even if they're looked on, then it is too late. And for me, there's no clear plan, strategy, or network of scouts to identify and track these players before other countries act. That is just my opinion. Or if you think there is, of course, you can drop your comments here, because I need to know. Because sometimes, even though you have to keep some things private to prevent and to restrict persons from behaving out of hand, you need to let them know that, hey, this is what we have. You need to present something. For example, being a governmental worker, or let's say a politician. If you want to keep your people, right, and they are having issues with the road, don't wait until politics time. Prove to them that we're fixing your road now. And yes, they will say, all right, we're not fix the road because politics are come. Look on other things around, man, and fix it to surprise them that it's not only the road that we were looking on. And we're not only looking on the road because you talk about the road. We fixed the road and we're fixing the water area as well. That is out of use for a very long time. So that is something that JFF needs to do. We need a blueprint, or if we have a blueprint, it is dusty. Show the public at least some of the things that can be exposed. That we're making waves for you. We're making waves for the national team because we want to see them better, the players better. I don't wish to hear any talking, and I'm not hearing or seeing anything that makes sense. All right? And in that case, for example, Kemar Roof, a proven goal scorer who was eligible to play for Jamaica for years. And instead of a quick and a professional recruitment process, it took years to sort out his passport and paperwork. By the time he was available, Jamaica had already missed out on multiple tournaments where he could have helped. Nathan Ferguson, as well, a highly rated young defender in England, reports suggest that Jamaica was interested, but there was no structural approach. Right, to get him on board. No wonder why he has never committed to Jamaica. So in this case now, countries like Canada and the USA now have decided or dedicated team scouting with dual national players. And Canada convinced Jonathan David he was eligible, if you don't know, to play for Haiti or France, right? But commitment was made because of the early approach, and now he's one of the biggest stars to play for Canada. I don't think Alfonso. I'm sure that he wasn't only there to play for Canada, he could have represented other countries, but Canada did what they do and get him in. I mean, Canada is one of the biggest nations here in the CONCACAF, and some of us may believe that they are not. They have been, and they're being consistent. They're getting better and better now in terms of how they're even playing their football. Their system and everything looks even more attractive than us. Is it a case because they are richer than Jamaica? That could be something that we could talk about, but I don't think that is only the main reason, because many clubs in football are richer than others, but they're not doing their jobs properly. Manchester United is a perfect example. To those clubs that are less than them, but because of the other team's proper recruitment and scouting structure, then you're more progressive. For example, an Arsenal, right? For example, an Arsenal. So it is something that, as fans, we really and truly are in question as to whether the JFF really loves the players. And well, I want to play something that our presidents talked about before. And is he hyping up our hopes? But when you listen, you will understand, or you will formulate your own belief.
Even before the start of World Cup 2023, we have been putting things in place certainly to ensure that when 2026 comes around, that we are ready to execute. We have a brand new coach with a new coaching staff. Of course, there will be some of the old guard to give him as much support as we can. But we're very excited. We believe that the new coach with his two new staff members will positively impact our program, and we have a portfolio responsibility that is second to none.
All right, so you heard what he said, and he mentioned that the coach have assistants and old guards. I don't know who those old guards are, but it sounds very limited. It sounds very limited, and I'm not here to criticize, but I'm just talking, right? Because even though there's a plan and the belief is there, we have been struggling with the approaches to our players, because even players who are interested to represent Jamaica, they have been having issues like nightmares to represent the country. I just want to let you know then that JFF have struggled for years with getting passports and paperwork sorted for eligible players. Players are not, or should not be waiting so long to get these things done, right? And it is discouraging for these players. For example, Michael Antonio from West Ham could have played for Jamaica much earlier, but it took too long or forever to sort his documents out. Imagine if he hit the nail on the head for England and they loved what they saw. He would have represented England. Jamaica loved this guy, Ravel Morrison, and his situation was different, of course, because he was born in England, but faced a long delay. And in that case, right now, Ravel Morrison is even not on the books. Fans want for him to play, but I mean, I wonder if Steve McLaren wants for him to represent the country. So, other nations actively help their players to get their documents sorted out, and players of dual citizenship. Nigeria, as I've mentioned earlier, they're quick in their approach and they get things done properly. JFF, come on, man. We need to see something taking place. If something is taking place, a lot of us aren't convinced, or a lot of us don't know. Now, the impact that this will have on our World Cup dreams. So, if Jamaica wants to qualify for the World Cup consistently, then we need our best players. I have heard others spoke about the fact that we don't need other players from the JPL, right? Close friends of mine via the phone and via YouTube they say that we don't need any more local players because we have them. We have some of them playing, so we need to get the best or better players now, and they're overseas. They are exposed. They are playing better leagues, football. So it is just the truth. So the delay that we normally encounter needs to stop, right? Because it is very weak as an approach, right? So we know that, as I've mentioned before, Canada, Nigeria, the USA, even Panama, they have grown stronger going forward in getting their players, and Jamaica continues to be doing the backstroke when they should be doing the front stroke. Don't try to compete with Michael Phelps because he will dominate the pool. So Mason Greenwood is a potential case. How long are we here waiting on a Mason Greenwood? And I don't really want to say if Jamaica approached him earlier because he's quite young, but it takes too long. And what if Mason Greenwood never went through that situation with his partner? Then he would be at Manchester United same way, and Thomas Tuchel would look at Mason Greenwood because he's a very good coach, and I think he would have nurtured Greenwood better. And Jamaica would never get a Mason Greenwood. And even though we have the opportunity now, they say the mommy is the one who is not signing the documents, but still waiting on Mason Greenwood. Still waiting on a Mason Greenwood. Other players, look at Dujan Sterling. It's like he fall off a cliff. Jamaica stop looking at him. I don't hear anyone talking about Dujan Sterling again. And it happened in the past, whereas we have players who were Chelsea Academy player, Grant, who was a DM representing Jamaica in the past. His approach was too late. And when he represented Jamaica, it was not the best of him. He played well in games, but he missed his best opportunities because he had that drive to play for Jamaica. And absolutely, he was not given the chance early enough. So, Jamaica, please look at Morocco and their 2022 World Cup success. Their squad, full of players recruited earlier from their European diaspora. Historic semi-final run. Come on, JFF man. So the fans deserve better. I am a fan and I deserve better, and others do. You saw it in the comments from the poll, and a lot of other YouTubers, or even those who don't do YouTubers, you may hear it in the streets as well that Jamaica has not been doing well. From 1998, we make it to the World Cup. Until now, we're nowhere close. We're even still wondering if we can make it. Look at Japan. Have they missed the World Cup there after 98? Think about it. So fans deserve better, man. JFF is too slow, and it's costing us the top talents. The fans like myself and others deserve better. Imagine a Jamaica with a Tony, if we got Tony, a Roof earlier on, and Antonio. Top players, right? Now we have others like a Tyrese Campbell, Keenan Davis, Ian Frey, who I think will play for the United States, but if we approach well, then we get that player. So we need proper scouting, right? With better recruitment strategies and urgency in signing players before it is too late. So, people, what do you think on the topic? JFF moving too slow. Act now or lose out on Jamaica's best talent. It is for you, the fans, to let me know what you think, because Premier 7 is all about the truth. The truth shall set us free, right? It shall set us free. And people, when you comment, I will be on board to respond. Don't forget though to subscribe to the channel, like up the video, because when you do that, YouTube as the boss will get this channel further and further to break some records. All right, so it's time for me to go, and we will talk again when the time is right. Bye bye for now.